Welcome to the Reserve at Cedar Creek here in Cedarburg, Wisconsin. This neighborhood is pretty darn special because it is right next to the Cedar Creek. It has about 9 or 10 lots that literally abut right up onto the creek, and it has some diversity of homes. So we have some single family, and also on the way in we had some side-by-side condos that you already saw. You know, it's a pretty darn private neighborhood, yet while at the same time being crazy close to downtown, even closer than your Cedar Point, Top View Trails, or Prairie View here in Cedarburg. My name is Jacob Sheets, your Wisconsin Realtor, and me and my affiliated agents cover the entire state of Wisconsin. So whenever you're ready and you want to get started either in your next purchase or sale of a home, you can go ahead and reach out. We'll have 2 links below in the description. The first one will take you to our website where you will be able to book an appointment directly onto one of our calendars. And the second will show you every single property that is for sale in this neighborhood right now, refresh live time. So you can go ahead and browse through at your leisure. Before we get started, please do hit the subscribe button and our notification doorbell below so you don't miss any of our future videos. And with that, let's enjoy the neighborhood tour of the Reserve at Cedar Creek. Here are the statistics for the Reserve on Cedar Creek subdivision. So we actually have 2 different neighborhoods inside of this one subdivision. Highland Crossings is actually the condos that are right as you pull in. You go through a bunch of those, and we'll kind of see a little bit later on the map where they are as far as outlined in the community. And you drive past those to get to the single family homes, which are the rest down here. And we can see single family all the way down to number 11. These are properties all in the last 3 years, so it goes back all the way to 2020. We can see the most recent condo sold was in 2022, and that was at about $460,000 sold. They had it listed at $450,000. Only was in the market for 3 days, and all these condos are 3-bedroom, 3-bath condos, pretty much copy and paste throughout the neighborhood. We go over here, we can see the average price per square foot. It's kind of skewed off a little bit because we only have one comp that's recently sold, and it had an entire almost 1,000 square feet finished in the basement, so it skews this data a little bit. But we can kind of see back 2 years ago with no finished square footage in the basement, we were at around 215. So we can kind of anticipate if it does have a finished basement, it might be around the 460 range, or since it's 2023 and into now 2024, higher than the 460 as long as it's in great condition and with a finished basement. No finished basement, I'd anticipate an appraiser coming out anywhere from like that 450 to 470 range, unless it's like super outdated or whatever. It might go a little bit lower than that, or in a less desired part of this little kind of subset community. So for the single family homes, we can see everything going up here to 2023. Let's look at the most recent ones first because those are going to be the most accurate. So we have the properties, a lot of these with no photos or just a quick snap of the outside with like a phone picture, or often because, well, these are sold off market. This community is very tight knit, and just waiting to get something on the market here is not going to go super well for you. If you want something in this one, you really kind of have to be proactive, knocking on the door yourself, sending a mail yourself, having an agent do that for you, or having an agent that knows what type of other agents in this community are doing these kind of off-market deals or one-party listing deals, so that you can kind of bust into the neighborhood yourself. So we see a range here. 2023 sold in 680 all the way up to down here 770, 780, and the highest at $960,000, originally listed at $989 or $990, about $30,000 below asking price. Now, what the heck, right? That's a huge jump from 770 to 960. The reason is that if we pull up the map on the screen over there, we can kind of see this little community over here that is highlighted will have these properties that will have actual water frontage and access over to the Cedar Creek itself. So that brings you into a whole different tier, a different echelon. If you're looking to sell, I mean, you're going to want to consider that in your price point, in this higher price point. This is, $200,000 higher. Where if you're in these other neighborhood streets that are more inland and everything, you're going to be looking at those comparables closer into the 770 surrounding. So just keep that in mind whether you're looking to buy. You don't necessarily need to have $1 million to get in this neighborhood if you don't want the waterfront access. But if that's like a huge selling point for you, you might get into that price range now, especially if it's a really high-end finish with a bunch of square footage and a lot of bedrooms. So we can see here this has the 6 bedrooms, 3.5 bath, and almost all of these don't have that much space. Most of them are 4 bedrooms. This one here looks like it's a 5-bedroom, probably because it has basement square footage. And you can also tell with these off-market and one-party listings, sometimes they don't get thrown into how much is actually in the basement. So you probably have to go into tax records or reach out to the agent that probably sold this one, or have your agent reach out to to them to say, hey, how much of this was actual basement square footage when it's sold. So that's good information to take in consideration as you're like forming both your budget and what's actually important to you in this neighborhood. So again, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, 3.5, 3.5. This is 2 full 3 half baths. Very interesting. 3.5, 3.5, and almost all of these are on around a third or quarter to third acre lot, with this one only 0.1 acre lot if it's entered accurately, because I'm guessing it is, because there's a couple other that are the 0.1 acre lot. It's a little more smushed together than your town of Cedarburg lots and properties like the White Oaks subdivision that we've done a video on as well, and the other town of Cedarburg neighborhoods. Now again, city of Cedarburg, if you're wanting to live here and you want to be really close to the action, you're going to sacrifice a larger lot to do that because it's just how it is. And if you're okay with that, then great, this could be a very good neighborhood for you. Now the last thing I do want to touch on, if we pull this map up on the screen right now of actually what we're looking at in the neighborhood, you can see how in this first kind of portion of the subdivision is all the condos, right? You can highlight that right now. We can kind of see these are all side-by-side condos that will go for sale individually. And then the single-family homes right here is kind of this next echelon, which we'll kind of highlight right now. And of this echelon, you kind of have this now highest tier that are right on the cusp of the Cedar Creek itself. And you can see these properties, again, around maybe, I don't know, 10-ish properties that have water frontage here. If that's going to be your target, you're going to want to really be super intentional on how you want to reach out to those owners of those properties. If you are one of those owners, you're going to want to make sure that that is highlighted strongly in your marketing materials. So let's dive a little bit deeper into this map itself and see what are the selling points and the cool features in the community right around the reserve on Cedar Creek. Just like in every video, we know that Cedarburg is just north of Milwaukee, which is in the southeast part of the state of Wisconsin. Go up here, take the highway up from 43, and you can exit on Pioneer Road or up here in Grafton as well. The main way that you then get into town, you would go into the actual heart of downtown Cedarburg itself. So right here is the historic stretch of downtown Cedarburg on Washington Avenue, where they have all the parades, all that good stuff. And then we actually get into the neighborhood itself. So again, red line is delineating the city of Cedarburg. So this is right on the very, very edge of the city of Cedarburg in this community, which is the reserve at Cedar Creek. So as we pull this in here, let's go ahead and just dive a little deeper. We can get a closer dive of what this actually looks like in the community. So we can see this first portion is the one I was talking about that are all the side-by-side condos. Very easy to see that down here on the side of the street. These are single-family homes. Up on the across the street, you'll see that in our drive-through as well. So it's kind of this northeast part, and this just little southwest corner is all the condo access. So going in, we can go and zoom out a tiny bit. See this from a big picture perspective. Here are these lots right here that all have the lake access and lake water frontage. So these are the lots that have the creekside water frontage as well. So we have again about maybe 10 or so properties that have that access. We have over here a walkway or a kind of sidewalk that takes you out to a sidewalk out here for walking into the downtown itself, into these nice neighborhoods. We'll get into the park that is nearby. That is really, really cool and one of my favorites in Cedar. It's not a big, flashy, glamorous one, but it's a cool little hidden gem. And they also have a cool little walking path that's down here too that almost nobody knows about. And it's kind of a nice private benefit of living in this community. So as we zoom back out here, we can kind of see the difference from a couple of years ago. Again, these homes mainly built in the early 2000s. We can pull up over here the, again, access to see how it was a while ago. One of the only changes is this property here was built. We can see how it was poured versus where it is now. And we can kind of go back and forth because most people really like this part of the videos actually, of being able to see what it was like then and now. Again, not a whole lot of change in this neighborhood in particular. So let's dive into the community itself and see what is nearby this neighborhood. As we click over next, I did point out that we're just north of the Wisconsin Museum of Quilts and Fiber Arts. So this is, very rarely talked about or visited even in the community. If you're an artistic person, if you're into quilting or whatever, it's nice. Maybe a one-day trip for everyone else just to kind of check it off the list because it's nice, cute, and quaint. But besides that, it is actually a really big deal for the people that are in a quilting community to come here, check it out. It is within walkable distance. You can walk over here, across the street, go on this sidewalk here, and be able to walk over. For most people, they probably won't be making that a regular trip, but it's still there and a cool feature. Next up, we have the Beckman Park. This is one of my favorites. Why? Because The Cedarburg fireworks are almost always launched over in this area right over here, and most people have get jam-packed in the Cedar Creek Park itself here, which is our next selling point or feature. And everyone is filled in Cedar Creek Park for the 4th of July, and they're up here on the Legion Memorial Park. This is a hill right here, and I often watch from here now with our baby girl. But other times I've gone up over here, and you get a straight up view. Sometimes you almost get the embers falling on you when you visit this park. So that's why it's one of my favorites. It's very underrated. It's very small. It's got a little basketball court here, and it's very chill, very relaxed. Almost pretty much no one's ever there, and you're able to also kind of step into this woodsy spot too, and be able to kind of view the water itself, which I think is just a really cool feature of that park. Going on, there's also Bozeman's Bar, so it is walkable. If you want to be walkable to a bar but not be in downtown Cedarburg, yeah, there you go. You got it. You can, of course, take this road over here, across the street, and now you're at Bozeman's Bar. I highlight that one just because, a lot of people know about it in the community and enjoy, having a good time there, connecting with friends, and being able to, not necessarily be in all of downtown Cedarburg, which there's a lot more touristy action, right? So downtown on Washington Avenue, there's a ton of bars. That's fantastic. You love the bar lifestyle and nightlife, cool. Go ahead and enjoy that. But otherwise, Bozeman's is a little bit more off the grid, and you can kind of have more of that local feel even over the downtown Cedarburg bars. So those are just a few of the selling points and neighborhood highlights that are right around the reserve at Cedar Creek. And right here, we will be stopping here and driving through the community itself. So go ahead, get in the car with me, strap in, we're going to get going. And as a reminder, if you do love any of these properties or want to see if there's anything for sale in this neighborhood, there will be that live link below. You click on it. If nothing pops up, that means nothing is currently active on the market for sale, because I have it set to refresh any single time there is something available in this neighborhood. You click on it, you go into our website, and it will be available for you to look at. You can scroll through all the photos, and then of course, just reach out to us for a showing either in the email, the business email we have below, or our contact information. And if you're ready to get going, if you love our content and start a relationship, you can book a buyer or listing consultation directly on our calendar on the other link that is in there. So go ahead, again, hop in, and let's take a drive through Reserve at Cedar Creek. you enjoy the tour of the reserve at Cedar Creek and you want to potentially see what's available for sale here, go ahead and click, like I said earlier, that link that's in the description and the pinned comment below to see all of the available homes that you can get into for showings right now. And in addition to that, when you do want to have that buyer or listing consultation, build the relationship directly with us when you are ready, you can click that other link to schedule an appointment with me or my affiliated agents here in the state of Wisconsin. Finally, of course, you can click these videos here. One of them will be the playlist for all of the other neighborhood tours here in the state of Wisconsin, and one that YouTube thinks would be particularly great for you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.